Obi has returned after a short time away from public engagements on doctors' advice. The former presidential candidate is back, and his first outing was not politics as usual. He didn't go to a rally or a fancy hotel. Instead, he went straight to the heart of Nigeria's economic future, an SME factory. His choice speaks volumes about his vision for Nigeria, a country that must shift from consumption to production. Obi began by thanking Nigerians for their well wishes during his brief absence, and then he kept a promise to visit a small and medium enterprise owned by someone he met during his campaign activities. That business is Maison de Helen, or MDH, a proudly Nigerian luxury fashion brand that has stood tall since 1990. Founded by visionary designer Helen Onwane, who inherited the craft from her mother and has now passed it to her daughter, Elsie. MDH is not just a fashion house, it is a living proof that Nigerian creativity, heritage and enterprise can resonate globally. The factory is not just about clothes, it's about culture, about identity, and about possibility. At MDH, fabrics like Akwete from Southeast are transformed into elegant, world-class pieces that are sought after internationally. For Obi, this is not just a tour, it is a practical lesson in how culture and creativity can be engines of economic growth. He reminded us that studies worldwide show SMEs are the backbone of every successful economy. Globally, the textile and apparel industry is worth a staggering $1.7 trillion and employs over 300 million people. But Nigeria, despite its size, its population, and its rich culture, has barely scratched the surface of this opportunity. And here lies the tragedy. While Bangladesh earns over $50 billion annually from textiles, more than Nigeria makes from oil, our own textile industry has collapsed to almost nothing. The factories of Kaduna, Kano, Aba and Lagos that once buzzed with activity now lie silent. Obi is absolutely right to put SMEs at the center of national growth. In fact, his visit highlights three truths. 1. SMEs create jobs faster and more sustainably than government contracts or oil rents. 2. Textiles and culture are exportable. They are products that the world actually wants, not just raw materials. 3. Nigerian creativity is underutilized. From fashion to film to music, we have the talent. What we lack is structured support. His example of MDH shows that with vision, even a small factory can provide direct and indirect employment for over 50 young Nigerians. Multiply this by 1,000 and you have an economic revolution. But here is where we must also be critical. Obi's message, though inspiring, glosses over painful barriers that shock Nigerian SMEs every single day. Power supply. No fashion house can run efficiently with unstable electricity and skyrocketing diesel costs. Access to finance. Nigerian SMEs face some of the highest interest rates in the world. Without affordable loans, most die in their first 5 years. Cheap imports. From China to Turkey, our markets are flooded with cheaper textiles, leaving local producers unable to compete. Infrastructure and logistics. Bad loads, port delays, and multiple taxes suffocate businesses before they can even export. Policy inconsistency. One administration introduces incentives, the next cancels them. SMEs cannot plan long-term in such uncertainty. Bangladesh's success story wasn't built on chance. It took decades of targeted policy. low interest credits, export incentives, stable power in industrial zones, and access to international markets. Without tackling these structural issues, Nigeria cannot replicate that model, no matter how inspiring MDH's stories is. Yet, Obi's central team remains powerful. Nigeria must move from consumption to production. Right now, we import what we should be producing. We export raw materials and then import finished goods at higher prices. This cycle keeps us poor. Imagine a Nigeria where our Akwete, Adire and Ankara fabrics are not just worn locally but dominate global fashion runways. Imagine a Nigeria where Aba, Kaduna and Kano become textile hubs supplying Africa and beyond. Imagine millions of young people employed in design, tailoring, marketing and export logistics. Instead of struggling with unemployment, this vision is possible, but it will require courage, consistent leadership and massive investment in SMEs. Obi's return is more than symbolic. His visit to Maison de Helen is a reminder that Nigeria's future does not lie on oil alone, nor in politics alone. It lies in the creativity and enterprise of its people. But for that creativity to blossom, we must fix power, finance, infrastructure and policy. If Nigeria can support just 10,000 SMEs like MDH, we can lift millions out of poverty, create jobs for our restless youths, and reposition the country as a hub of creativity and trade. Obi has reignited the conversation. Now, the challenge is for leaders, investors, and citizens to act. The choice before us is simple. Remain a nation that consumes what others produce, or finally rise as a nation that produces what the world consumes. The time to choose production is now. This is Shinik TV. Please remember to like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to put on your notification button to get the latest updates from us. Thank you for watching.